Thank you guys so much for hopping on our team call tonight. We have an awesome guest who, as you know, is going to share us more about how to share the opportunity, which I think is a really great topic that a lot of coaches in general, not even new coaches, just coaches get hung up on. And so we're going to hear from Chelsea all of her tips on how to share the opportunity and really build a stronger business. But right before we do that, I'm going to share my screen with you guys and pull up just some notes for you guys. So first of all, a little bit of recognition. We don't have anyone that's locked in Success Club yet, even though it's October 6th. So I actually have a challenge with my personally sponsored coaches where they'll get a prize if they hit it by the 5th. But we have a lot of people that are almost at Success Club. So we have Jackie Newberry and Megan Llewellyn and Sarah Roche all at 4 points. Then we have Sydney Thomas, Colleen Reagan, Alicia Johnson, Nicole Bowers, Ashley Hoke, Chelsea Stam, Sandy Knox, Nicole Faulkner, Rachel Dodge, Caitlin Thiel, Ashley Matz, and Sandy Visnoff, or Sandy Glant now, I should change that. Lana Lawrence and Therese Miller all with 2 points, and Miranda Wood with 1 point. So awesome job, you guys. You're the first on the list this month, and I know that all of you guys should totally hit Success Club. Just 1 or 2 more people for each of you, and you will be there. A couple reminders, the challenge pack sales are basically all challenge packs this month. All of them are $140, and as of next month, that will not be the case. This is the last month that all of them are on sale, so take advantage of these programs. Always make sure you recommend one of these. If you recommend 2, make sure one is one of these. When 21 Day Fix and Size and Pi, when they're not $140, for some reason, even if it's being bumped up to $160, people are less likely to jump in full force. So make sure you use these to your advantage this month. This week's focus for you guys would be, in my opinion, I think it's most important early on in the month to, number 1, do some call to action posts for your upcoming fitness group. I'm not sure when your guys' posts or groups are starting. Mine starts October 24th. So the first 2 weeks of the month is when I'm heavily recruiting for my challenge groups and doing call to action posts. And I saw Finn in the bottom corner of my screen. I got distracted. So do call to action posts for your upcoming group, and also take some time to connect with your new contacts. Hopefully you guys are expanding your network, and if you're able to connect with your new network on anything non-Beachbody related, that will be much easier for you to then invite them and have a positive reaction and engagement, and they would be more likely to join once you've connected instead of doing cold invites to new contacts. So those are my 2 tips for this week, and I don't have anything extra for you. So we will jump into Chelsea speaking to us about sharing the opportunity, and she's an awesome coach, you guys. She's a 2015 elite coach. She's a 5-star diamond. She's a Success Club 10 all-star legend, meaning she's hit Success Club 10 for at least 2 years in a row. And she's currently ranked at number 74 in the entire organization out of 500,000 coaches. So she is clearly doing something right, and she's going to share with us her best tips. So I will stop sharing. And, oh, you're unmuted. Perfect. You can go ahead and take it away, Chelsea.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. And I'm just going to preface, I'm a mess tonight. I had a PowerPoint that is not coming up. And I'm also, our office is the living room, and my husband just fell asleep on the couch. So I'm in our room right next to my baby's room. So I may talk a little quiet just so that I don't wake her up. But thank you so much for having me on. I feel like I have shared about this like 12 times in the last few weeks, so I probably should have this memorized even without the PowerPoint. But this is definitely where I feel my strong suit is in this business. Samantha spoke on my team call last night, and I see a lot of similarities in our strengths and weaknesses, and my weaknesses are definitely time management, but sharing the opportunity and sharing like it's my job because it is about this opportunity is definitely my strong suit. But just a little bit about myself, because I think that it's important for me to share my story when it comes to speaking to others about sharing the opportunity. I am a nurse by trade. I was always like a not super fit. I should not use that word. I was always an athlete, but I considered myself to be what I called skinny fat. So I was like super thin on the outside, but I was really unhealthy. I ate like crap. And my sister actually used to like tell me that I looked Ethiopian because I mean, I'm definitely not meaning that against the race in general, but I was like so tiny, but had this little gut, like this little belly. But eventually it caught up to me. And after high school, I stopped working out. I didn't have a coach that was telling me what to do. And I went to nursing school, and $13,000 later, a ton of debt, and I gained 40 pounds. And I was like, what the hell? Why didn't no one tell me that I gained 40 pounds? I was like really mad at all of my friends, like it was their fault. So I decided that I was going to count calories with an app on my phone. I lost 32 pounds in 8 months, which is great, like woohoo. I was super thin again, but still unhealthy. You can lose weight counting calories, obviously, but I did not work out one time in those 8 months, not once. And I was just continuing to eat crap. Like I ate 100 calorie packs and all of those things that were still full of processed junk, additives, things like that, but it was less calories. So felt like I could eat more, all of those things. So eventually after I realized that I was still super unhealthy, I started my own health and fitness Instagram to really just surround myself, like follow people who legitimately were focused on just like whole foods. And yeah, avocado has a ton of calories, but it's really good calories that you need. And that is where I found my sponsor. I'm not sure who came across who or who reached out to who, but I saw that she was working like from the beach and from her pool at her apartment complex, and she had fired her boss at age 25, and I think she was doing P90X at the time. She was working out and like that was her job, and I was like, no way, that's not true. So she offered me this opportunity, and I said no like 12,000 times, until one day I just said yes. But another background story on myself, and I swear there's a point to all this. I always sort of knew that I wanted freedom. As you heard me say, I just had our first child 6 months ago. And I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, not necessarily like stay at home, just be a housewife. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, because power to you stay-at-home moms, because it's hard as shit. But I always wanted to stay home and be present with our kids, but I never really knew how I was going to achieve freedom. I sort of just always hoped that either I would marry rich or I would win the lottery. Neither of those things happened. So here I am building a business, working from home with my daughter. But I was that person who, prior to this opportunity, like I would go to buy groceries and like my palms would be sweaty because I knew my card was going to get denied, or I would like write a check for groceries knowing very well that there was no money in that account, hoping that by the time that it was cash, that I could get money into the bank. Like I was that person. And that is what this opportunity has given me. If nothing else, has been safety. Like I don't go to sleep worrying about, how am I going to buy my daughter this swing that she needs, or now she's, new world, whatever. So it's silly things like that. But I just wanted to tell you guys that I am a nurse by trade. I did go through nursing school, was super full of debt before last night. I did not get into this business, and I'm going to share a ton more about this because of the challenge groups or the fitness. I got into this business for the freedom and the income. Like that is the reason. That is what attracted me. And I think that it is different for everyone. So I think it's super important to focus on your favorite aspects of this business and what got you started in this business, because you attract what you are. And I really attract a lot of people that just want to join challenge groups. A blessing and a curse. So that's a little bit of background on myself. I have been a coach. June was my 2-year anniversary, so a little bit over 2 years. And we were a premier team the first year and elite team the second year. And I think that because I implement this with my team, that is the reason why. I will tell you that all of my recruiting comes from my posts. Like 99% of my recruits come from, I'm not saying people come to me, but I'm saying the content that I share and how I share about the opportunity, I know very well is the reason why I attract so many people. So I talk about recruiting with my team. And I'm just going to say before I start this call that you guys have probably heard all these things. I feel that my team probably hears me say these things a million times, and then they hear it from someone else and they're like, oh my God, I should do that. But you probably heard these things a million times, but I'm telling you, they work. There's no big secret to success or recruiting. If that's what you think I'm going to share in this call, it's not. You know what to do, but I'm just going to give you some tips that I have found work for me. I hear coaches tell me all the time that they can find challengers and discount coaches all day long, but they can't find someone that wants to work the business. So I mean, none of you guys struggle with that, right? You guys all have working coaches that want to just build a business and they're rock stars. So I will go to those coaches' pages and I'll see that they have not said anything about the business. And I'm like, well, how does anyone know that you are, number one, like building a team, that you have a team, that you're looking for people to join your team? How does anyone know that you have something to offer if you're not talking about it? Or how do they know what it entails if you don't let them in? So I will tell you that every single one of my posts is about coaching. Every single one. I somehow tie coaching back into every single post. And I'm not saying that I do the like 5 spots left, join me, join me, join me. I don't do those. I will like maybe do those for like once a month for like my sneak peek or something like that. But all of my posts are some sort of coaching posts about the lifestyle of coaching every single day, all day long. So when my team tells me, well, I don't want to post about the business, or I don't know how to post about the business, or I haven't made any money yet, or I don't have freedom like you do, or whatever, I haven't quit my job, I don't have results yet, whatever it is, that is not all my posts are about. And I started this business working full-time as a nurse and still talked about this opportunity every single day. So it's sort of easy in the first 2 to 3 months to post about motivation in quotes and challenge groups and things like that. But when your goal is to build an income, a team that's helping you to do so, you have to attract more than just fitness people. I am a firm believer that, of course, focusing on your goals and your journey first and foremost and getting results, because why would you want to scream about Beachbody from the rooftops if you know it hasn't done anything for your life? But at the same time, just posting motivational quotes and recipes and challenge group, they have to see that it's more than that, because you could be missing a huge chunk of people that like really just want to get into this because they're looking for like passion and purpose and something to build a life for their family or something like that. But I'm going to talk more about that as well. So these are the things that I tell my team to focus on and to think about when it comes to sharing about the business opportunity. And these are the things that I focus on like weekly. I will usually make lists at the beginning. Like on Sundays, I'll make a list and I post about my objections, like the objections that I get. And I think I share this somewhere else. I'm all over the place. I think I post about objections that I got. So on Sunday, I'll say, okay, what was the 2 most common objections that I got last week? It's always the same, like time, money. I'm not a salesperson. I wouldn't be good at that. I couldn't do it because I'm not super fit, whatever it was. And I post my objections publicly all the time, at least a few times a week about objections that I get, just so that people see, they're not the only ones that are thinking this. And I'm not just in this private message saying, no, it's not sales at all. And they're like, yeah, right, she's lying. No, I post about those things publicly. But I just totally got off track. So the first thing that I tell my team to focus on is what attracted you to this business? What was it? So like I said, I saw my sponsor working from the pool. She quit her job at 25. She was traveling all the time. She was like working out with friends. But mainly it was her sharing that she paid off debt, was working from her pool. She was making her own schedule. She didn't have to wake up to an alarm clock, things like that. That is what attracted me to this business. What attracted you to this business? It's going to be different for everyone, and there's no right or wrong. But think about everything that attracted you to this business, not just, I cannot just post about the income all day long because that, would get icky and no one wants to see those things. But what mainly attracted you to this business? Think about that when you go to post, because again, you attract what you are. What you're sharing is going to relate to someone or it's not. The second thing is, what are your 5 favorite aspects of coaching? This is the huge part. So when coaches tell me, I don't have freedom like you, I haven't even made $100, whatever it is. And I was thinking those things as well when I was a new coach. That's fine. That's not what this is about. the lifestyle of coaches. So are you in a challenge group right now? Are you hosting a challenge group right now? Awesome. Share some things that are going on in that challenge group. Like, oh my God, in my challenge group, we just did a lip sync contest. Like, I love this, I love the community support and the positivity and the fun, like these groups. I can't believe this is my job, whatever. And I'm just totally rambling. Or like maybe someone in your challenge group just posted that they lost 5 pounds in their first week. Share about that publicly. Like, oh my God, this is why I do what I do. Someone in my challenge group just lost 5 pounds in her first week. Or maybe it is just the fact that I didn't share this with you guys, but I think I shared it somewhere later in here. I used to be super, super, super negative, and full of anxiety. And I really struggled with anxiety my entire life prior to becoming a coach. And now, because of personal development and the positivity, obviously, that comes with this opportunity, I was able to get off my anxiety medication and have completely changed my mindset. And I share about that more than anything else because I didn't really have a physical transformation when it came to Beachbody. I have more of a mental transformation. So if nothing else, even if you've been a coach for a week, share that you have like virtual friends that are positive and fun and you guys are working on yourselves every day. I mean, what other job has your boss ever said, like, go read a book, like go read a positive book, go home and do something good for yourself? Like no other boss of mine ever told me to do those things. Or no other job that I ever worked, promoted like personal growth and positivity. They were just like, can you work another 12 hours? Can you work an overnight? Like it was never the things that we do, right? So share about those things. It doesn't matter. Every single aspect of the lifestyle of coaching. It doesn't need to be, so I, my laptop, my Wi-Fi, 6 figures. Like it doesn't need to just be like coaching, I make money, blah, blah, blah. And if people are attracted to why you do things, not what you do. I hope I said that right because I'm all over the place. Yes. So think of the aspects that attract you to this business, whether you have made $5, whether you've made $0, think of every single aspect. So, of course, if you have gone on some of the trips or you went to Summit or you went to a Success Club trip, like share the travel, share the freedom, share the positivity, the fun, the support, the community, getting paid to work on yourself. I mean, that in itself should just be, why wouldn't you want to share those things? I literally, the stupid things that we get in the mail, and they're not really stupid, I actually love them, but the things that we get in the mail for Success Club every month, like I share about that every single time I get one, no matter what it is. Like those stupid bobbleheads, I was like, yeah, I made a ridiculous video because people are watching, like they want to see that. I literally had one girl, I think it was when I got my 1-star diamond tank top or something. I posted that I got it and I shared a picture and she literally messaged me, and I had been following up with her for like a year. She literally messaged me and was like, oh, okay, so free workout gear. Maybe I do want to hear more about this. And it's like, really? That's what made you want to hear more about this after everything that you talked to me about? And you never know. You really never know what people want from this opportunity that you could be missing out on. So share every little thing, every little thing. I always share that, I can't look at the chat because I get super distracted. I always share that, every month I send Success Club gifts or challenge group gifts and things like that to my team and my challengers. And I always share when I'm going to the post office, and I always share something ridiculous like, oh my God, the post office lady, because she really does do this. She's always like, okay, maybe I should join your team because you send these out every month. Like I just share that I'm sending my team gifts because that really is my love language. So think of every aspect of this opportunity that you really that are your favorite, that just that you like about it. It doesn't have to be that you've made a $50 paycheck, or maybe it should be. When I first started, it was literally like, oh my God, I can go get my nails done and I couldn't afford that now. Thanks, Beachbody. And then obviously it grew like, oh my God, I just got 4 new tires on my Jeep. Thanks, Beachbody. Like just whatever, every little aspect of the business, share about it. Post like a rock star. I did see that come up in the chat. Okay, so number 3, post about one of those things at least every single day. Change them up. Obviously, think of different ways to portray your favorite parts of the lifestyle. So, obviously, every day you should not be posting, oh my God, I love the community and the support and the fun. I mean, maybe that's one that you could change up a lot. But, so one that I do pretty often, and it's really true because sometimes I think I take it for granted, but the fact that I do not have to leave my daughter, I mean, that's huge. And as I've become a mom, I have attracted a lot more mom followers. And I absolutely, that has become a part of my brand and who I am and the people that I'm looking for. So I absolutely once a day have to post something that has to do with being with my daughter, being with Ruby, the fact that I don't have to leave her, the fact that she just did something adorable and I'll just post a video of her doing something adorable and saying that I never have to miss those things. But of course I share it in a different way every day. Like sometimes it's, I haven't gotten anything done today, but that's okay because I'm my own boss, or, I didn't have to miss this, or, I get to go shopping with her in the afternoon, whatever it is, share it in a different way about all the favorite aspects of your lifestyle. I'm sorry. Things pop up on my computer. I get super distracted. Okay. So share about those at least once a day. And of course, you guys, I share about coaching all day long, all day. If I'm doing a Beachbody On Demand workout, it's something related to coaching, right? Because look, I have a library of programs on my computer that I can do in this tiny space in my living room while my daughter's napping. So share those things, share them all day long. That is sharing the opportunity without having to say, hi, 5 spots, join me. And then fourth, you attract what you are. And I think I've said this a lot. So share the lifestyle and that you enjoy the most, and you'll attract people that want that as well. But again, make a list of more than just, 1, 2, or 3 things that you really like about this business, because I have found that sometimes when I share my story, I always try to, and I think I talk about this later, I always try to relate back to who I was prior to Beachbody and who I am now, because I don't ever want people to think like, oh, well, that's great. She gets to wake up to no alarm and she gets to work from home and she's paying off debt and blah, blah, blah. That's great. I could never do that. So I always try to share little wins as well. Like literally I bought my daughter, she had awful acid reflux and would not sleep flat. So I had to go buy her a swing to sleep in for the first 3 months of her life. And it cost me $140. And that was something I could have never done prior to this opportunity. And that sounds so ridiculous to some people. And I actually shared this at the last Super Saturday I spoke at, but it's legit. Like that's changed my life because I did not have fluff or an extra $140 to go buy a swing for my daughter. So celebrate the little wins as well. Like an extra $25 for some moms is a package of diapers that they could need. So share the little wins. Don't just share the things that people cannot relate to because they're like, well, that's great for her. Okay. You guys may be familiar with this, but this is something that Bonnie Ingle said, and I'm not sure where I even heard it. I think it was one of her calls that I was on, but ever since she said it, I make it a huge point to teach this with my team because it's so, so true. I hope I'm not repeating myself, so I'll go through it fast. But can I go to your page and tell these 4 things? And this is huge. Can I, number 1, tell that you're a health and fitness coach? I can't even tell you. And I'm sure you all know this, but if you're having conversations with people and you're like, yeah, I'm a health and fitness coach. I get paid to work on myself and I've lost 20 pounds. And, I get to work out with my friends and blah, blah, blah. And then they go to your page and they see that you haven't even posted like a fitness, like a workout or like maybe even a motivational quote or anything. They're like, no, she's lying. She's not a health and fitness coach. I don't want to work with her. I don't trust her. Like, can I even go to your page and tell that you're a health and fitness coach? Number 2, how this business or Beachbody in general has changed your life. Again, always share something every single day, even if it's just something so little, breadcrumbing into your story into all of your posts, how it has changed your life. Number 3, that you run monthly groups. And something I think Samantha talked about as well on my team call last night is that you have to make a point to share that you have things coming up, or how do people know? How are you going to get interest in your challenge groups or interest in joining your team if you don't do call to actions, if you don't share, oh, did you know that my next group is coming up in a couple of weeks, or in my group now and our next one is this date, can I tell if I go to your page that you are running monthly challenge groups? And then number 4, I think is probably the most important, is that your followers can do it too. Think back to what you felt like prior to this opportunity. What held you back? For me, it was fear. And that is probably 99% of the reason why most people don't join, is because they're afraid. They don't think they can do this. They think it's sales. They think it's a scam. They think they have to be super fit. They think they don't have the money, the time, whatever it is. It's fear that holds people back. And that is one thing I definitely thought, was that I could not do what my coach was doing. I saw all of her posts and I'm like, oh, well, that's great. She's just at the top. She's one of those people. I could never do that. So make a point to share that you also felt the same way, that you were afraid to, that you were not a shake person, that you didn't have money, that you didn't have time, that you were not a salesperson, all those things. Make sure you're sharing that. And then I already shared that I post my objections publicly. This is something I do, and I did just briefly talk about it as well, is relate to people where they are. So again, if I'm sharing about, I didn't have to wake up to an alarm clock, and which never happens because my daughter's my alarm clock, but I don't have to commute to work. I don't have to set an alarm for 4 a.m. anymore, blah, 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 all of these things. I just paid off another $1,000 in debt, whatever it is. I cannot just share those things and not say, but this wasn't always how it used to be. This is what my morning used to look like. I used to wake up at 4 a.m., hit snooze 12,000 times, and then drive to a job that I didn't like, miss time with my family because my husband and I worked opposite hours, blah, blah, blah. But I took a chance. So if you're sharing the opportunity, make sure you share back to who you used to be, what your life used to look like, so that they can see that they can do it too. Share your fears. What were your fears prior? Who were you prior to coaching? What did your life used to look like? I was just going to say something. I just totally lost my train of thought. I have no idea. Okay, so be bold. I have to turn that off. This is something that I think holds a lot of people back. When I talk to a lot of my coaches about like maybe why they're not hitting Success Club, or maybe what they feel is holding them back in this business, this is something I talk about a lot. And I do know that it takes a lot of personal development to feel this way, because it's something that helps me back as well. But you have to be bold when it comes to your posts, when it comes to overcoming objections, and when it comes to sharing things publicly, of course. You have to get serious, confident, and believe that this is a life-changing business, whether you have reached success in your eyes or not. I don't like to say fake it till you make it. I like to say faith it till you make it, because really, truly believing that you can achieve in this business is more important than anything else. There was a time, like the first few months of my business, I think I was already diamond, but I was still like, I don't really know if I can get to the point like where I'm reaching 6 figures and quitting my job and all of those things. And I struggled with belief for a really, really long time. So that came out in my posts a lot. I will tell you that I think only one coach that I recruited from when I first started is still around, because I was so full of fear and just the way that I was as a mentor at the beginning of my business, and the things that came out in my posts, I'm sure, just showed that I wasn't really 100% confident that this was real and this was something that I could make a lifestyle. And then I also pushed those things onto my new coaches. So everything that you're feeling comes out in your posts. So even if that day you aren't so sure about this opportunity, or you're just having one of those days where you're like, my business sucks, do some personal development or jump around, say some positive affirmations, and post the opposite of what you're feeling. One thing that has changed a lot of my business is changing the language of my posts. It's been huge. It sounds so small, but it really, really does make a huge difference. I don't ever say like my team or my coaches. I always say we and our. I always say our team. I stress the love I have for my team, because I, number one, would not be here without them. But number two, people are more attracted to belonging to something than they are to income. And that sounds kind of crazy because that's not me. But that is what I have realized. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like the personality traits, the personality types and things like that, but I work a lot with Josh Coates, if you guys are familiar with him. And he has personality types that are animals. And it's just a way that I have found that I remember the personality traits, or not traits, I don't know why I keep saying that, personality types more. And I have learned from him that 90% of coaches, maybe even more than that, are golden retrievers. If you guys are not familiar with those personality types, golden retrievers are like super loyal, obviously. And that is what most coaches in this business are, meaning that they love belonging to something in the community. And there are always those coaches that get on every team call and they go to every event, but they usually don't like hit Success Club, or, they're not heavy recruiters or really even work their business very often, but they're never going to go anywhere because they love belonging to something and they love like being a part of this community. So changing my language to attract people that just want to belong to something, or even just want like purpose and passion and to wake up every day enjoying what they do, that has made a huge difference as well. And remember that the outside world does not know what a challenge group is. Okay. So I don't ever say I have another challenge group coming up, because people are probably like, what the hell is a challenge group? I always say I have an accountability and support group coming up, or if it's a free group that I'm doing, maybe like a self-love group. I'll just call it that, a self-love group. I don't ever post Shakeology. I mean, not for any reason, and sometimes I do. But most of the time I don't post the name of programs and things like that. I make up my own names just because this is my business. Beachbody is our vehicle to success, and that's awesome. I love Beachbody, every single aspect of it, but they have their own marketing and branding, and they do just fine. They don't need our help. I am building a business around me and my brand and what I'm trying to portray. So I always say like superfoods, or I think that's usually what I say, but other things like that. I don't say like 21 Day Fix or PIO. I say like my Pilates yoga based program, or my 21 day boot camp, things like that. Like just change your language so that you're not just like you just have to post, a picture of a Shakeology bottle. And these are all like super simple things that you guys are like, well, duh. But really, that's literally my first post ever, was like a picture of my DVD in my hand, like Autumn Calories 21 Day Fix. And I was like, yeah, I just got my 21 Day Fix, like awful. Just brand yourself and make this your business, because you are the CEO and that's what this is. So changing my language was huge. I always say our team, our coaches, our success, we're an elite team, things like that. And this is just totally, I'm not even going to share because it has nothing to do with that. But okay. And again, you guys know people relate to people, not products. I don't ever use stock images. Get behind the camera. And this is something I tell my coaches every single day. Even if you're just posting selfie after selfie after selfie, what you're saying matters and people want to see your face. When it comes to sharing your story, this is something that was shared at Summit, I think last year. I think it was Megan Ewaldson and someone else. And this is how I have since learned to share my story as well, that I make a point to. So they talk about breadcrumbing. I'm sure you guys all know what breadcrumbing is. You don't just want to give the whole loaf of bread every single post. You don't just want to give your whole entire story. Like, so I used to be a nurse and I was skinny fat and then I wasn't, and I lost 30 pounds counting calories. Like, I don't share my entire story every single post because people would be like, oh my God, I'm going to delete this girl. You just little, like tonight I'm posting a transformation picture and just saying, I was that girl that, could never stick to a program or whatever it was. So breadcrumb, little bits and pieces of your story here and there every single day. And the three, I think it may be four, ways that I do that are usually financial, physical and emotional, and mental health. So again, I do not have I don't even think I have obviously done the 21 Day Fix and gotten results and things like that. But again, my transformation from Beachbody is mental and probably financial, but mostly mental. So that is what I share about more. But of course, physical, I have to be a product of the product or I'd have no business. But when it comes to, the areas that you should focus on, those are the ones that I focus on every single day. So physical would obviously be like your workouts and Shakeology. And I just share benefits of them every single day. And I don't know, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with that. So brag about the opportunity without actually bragging. So of course, don't just say, guess what? I woke up to no alarm today and I don't have to do anything if I don't want to. Don't you wish you had my life? Obviously, that's not how you should post about the opportunity. Again, you have to say what your life used to look like or, what you want your life to look like because of this opportunity, things like that. Add value every day. What has this done for you? Again, like in the beginning, it was just, I'm taking my husband out to dinner, which we never could have done before. Things like that. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have. I went all over the place without my PowerPoint. I apologize. But if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I loved one of the first things you said, or maybe the first thing, where you said you post about your objections. I tell my coaches to do that, and I don't do it nearly as often as I should. And I feel like posting about those objections would definitely, like you squash those fears from other people before they even have a chance to tell them to you. So I like that you do that so often.
Absolutely.
All right. And does anyone else have any questions? You can either unmute yourself or type it in the chat box. Anyone? I also like that you post about coaching every single day. That's something that I am going to start to do because you're right. There's so many different aspects of coaching that you can talk about. And I I always think of it as like when I post about coaching, it's got to be a recruiting post, but it doesn't always have to be like that. So I'm going to start doing that more.
Yeah, I still struggle with that. Like I've realized I just had an aha moment after I'm assuming that you're on the wall because you're a 5-star. If you saw the video that Alyssa Shoemaker posted about the 12-week year, that like totally, I think I cried after that video because since having my daughter, time management in my business has definitely taken a toll. And I had to reevaluate things. I don't even know what I was trying to say here, but I went back and looked at all of my posts and I was like, oh my God, I've just been posting like the same thing just to like post. And I have to get back to, sharing the lifestyle in every single aspect because I'm missing a lot of people.
Yeah. A few coaches and I are reading the 12-week year. Are you reading that?
Yeah, I just started the audio.
Yeah.
I don't have time to read.
That's a good one. For anyone looking to like push their business the last 12 weeks of this year, you should definitely download that to listen to or purchase it. It's a really good one.
It's amazing.
I don't have any questions, but just as far as like a comment goes, like social media has been such a struggle. I've talked to Sam about this. I think every single time we have a phone call, it's like, I don't know what to say. And so the 4 things that you brought up, it's like the moment you said that, I pulled up my Facebook page and I'm like scrolling through and I was like, well, I posted that one thing. I'm like, crap, I have to post more. And so I like having that because I can put that on like a Post-it note or something on my computer and it'll be something to refer to. So those are awesome. So I really appreciate that.
Of course. Do you struggle with what to say more, or is it like you forget to post?
So I just started like 2 months ago. And so it's still like getting into the groove of kind of putting myself out there and putting it kind of like on the internet in front of everybody. And also kind of how to phrase things in order to bring Beachbody into it. So it's kind of like the 2 pieces. I have been working on making a list of, now I'm having a total brain fart. Rejections, why people say no. And just so I have like things to have a steady posting schedule about, but yeah, I just struggle less 100%.
I think, and this is like a huge thing that I struggled with as well. I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. You're definitely kind of like, oh, I don't want to post the wrong thing. And, oh, I don't know. There's no right or wrong. Mm-hmm. Like one thing I stress to my coaches is like, just find your voice. You do not have to go to other coaches' posts and say like, oh my God, they posted a collage workout, I have to post collage workouts. Or they posted a transformation on Tuesdays, which I do recommend. But you don't have to do what every other coach in this business is doing. You just have to find your voice. Write down your story, because I know every single person on this call has a story. You've all struggled with something in your life. You've all overcome something in your life. Share those things, because this is really just a platform to reach people and to help other people relate to you. And they join you because they relate to you, not because you're being like every other 500,000 coaches in this business. So maybe just try. And I know it's harder than it sounds, especially on the days where I'm like exhausted and I didn't plan anything. I overthink it still as well, 2.5 years almost into this. So maybe just try not to overthink it so much. This is one thing that I tell my new coaches is to write down 5 to 8 things that describe you, like what makes you who you are. So, of course, this is always changing. Like now I'm a mom. I wasn't a mom before, but, when I first started, it was like I was a nurse, I was a wife. I loved baking and eating clean and things like that. So I shared a lot of recipes. I'm a dog mom. My dog was my first baby. So it was always my dog. And then I drank way too much coffee, which I still do. So even if it has like nothing to do with health and fitness, like I used to post a coffee meme every single day. So that's how I started my business. I would, as a nurse, so I work 12 to 16 hours a day, I would wake up at 4 a.m. I hope I'm not like totally taking over this call, but I woke up at 4 a.m., got my workout in, drank my shake on the way to work. Before I left for work, I would post a workout selfie or maybe like a little clip of my workout. It was always my workout. Like every single person I worked with was like, I look forward to your workout post in the morning, because that's what I did before I left for work. And then I drank my Shakeology on the way to work. I listened to my personal development on the way to work. At lunchtime, I would either share a coffee meme or a recipe, something I was eating that day. In the afternoon, I think it was always like something related to my family or things like that. And then nighttime was always the post where I posted something about the opportunity, whether it was like, I'm getting on a call, or this is how I spend my spare time now. That was my schedule. Not that I did the same thing every day, but like try to just find something that like works for you and your schedule. I'm not sure if you're working now, or if you stay home or whatever it is, but that's like, honestly, I did that every single day, and it was just consistency. People want to see you show up, and they want to see your face. And I obviously added value. It was like motivation with my workouts. Melanie Mitchell still does that. How long has she been doing this business now? 4 years. She still wakes up at 5 a.m. every single day and posts her damn workout. So it's really just finding your groove, write down things that describe you and post about them, even if it has nothing to do with health and fitness. Like, people like to see your humor and things like that. So I don't know if that helps at all, but just find, that was my schedule, and I did it every day until I quit 9 months into this business. So
awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was actually a question I was going to ask you, because I know we have a lot of people that still work full time on the call. So when you had that schedule, did you plan out, like, did you use Hootsuite or Buffer, or did you create posts ahead of time, or did you just do your posts on the fly when you were at work?
So I have never been a scheduler of my posts, which I feel is kind of a weakness for a lot of my team, because they like struggle with, getting in enough posts. And I just, honestly, I was an awful nurse. Like I tell my team all the time, like, the last 9 months of my nursing career, I was awful, because not that I neglected my patients, but I was like in the bathroom posting. I was like hiding places and posting. I was like adding people to my network, like in the break room. So I was kind of an awful employee the last 9 months, but I've never been the type to schedule my posts. However, at the beginning of every month I sit down, we use Anita Myron's monthly schedule, so like team schedule. So the third Monday of every month is our team challenge group. So of course, the beginning of every month, whether it's like a theme or a free group or things like that, I of course plan my month and then plan accordingly. Okay, I'm going to post about my challenge group this night. But other than that, I have always been a sporadic, whatever comes to my mind that day sort of thing. And personal development is where a lot of my posts come from as well. But I've never been like a scheduler of posts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I do recommend it for people that work. It's just never, I don't know why, to me it was just like another step.
I never did either. And I also didn't like because it says like posted by Hootsuite or posted by Buffer, and you can tell like it wasn't you that did it right then and there. So when I worked full time, what I used to do was I saved pictures and I saved the text, and then I would just copy and paste it and post it like when I went to the bathroom or when I went to go get water or something.
Yes. And that's a great point. That's actually what I do right now. So when my daughter's napping and that's like my time to work, I will plan my posts for the day and I'll type them out. I'll send them to myself. The same thing. I have all my hashtags for Instagram saved in the notes on my phone. So then I just copy and paste them to Instagram on my posts. And then also like common, like answers to questions, like what is the 21-day fix? Like the common things that I get asked about, I have all in the notes on my phone, just because I was always on the go. So I could just copy and paste those responses. Of course, like I have conversations with people like it's me, but those things that we say over and over and over again, I definitely have on my phone as well.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's a good tip. All right. Anyone else? Questions or comments?
Yeah, I have something. How often do you do like very direct call to action type posts where you're asking people to reach out to you? Because I definitely understand the value of like sharing the picture of what this is for you and appealing to people that way. But as far as actually like getting them to reach out and take that step to engage, how often do you find that you do that if you have kind of a schedule as far as that's concerned?
I usually only do, for coaching, I'll usually only do like one of the big ones, like for our sneak peek, or I'm accepting coaches this month. I'll do one of each of those a month usually. So one for the sneak peek, join us, and then one for, I'm looking for coaches to join me this month. So I'll usually do one of each of those. One challenge group one, and then like a challenge group last call. But Samantha shared this, I think on my team call last night. There are posts where I'll just say, I'll be talking about our challenge group or our meal plans or, my results and things like that. And just say, if you're looking for more accountability and support, our next group starts on this day, shoot me a message or whatever. But I only do the big call to action ones, a couple times a month.
Makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? So I like to end a call with a challenge. So I challenge all of you guys to share one benefit that you've had from coaching about the lifestyle, not necessarily an income or a call to action, just what have you gained from coaching or seen a change in your life from coaching since you joined? And if you joined today, maybe it's this call, maybe it's this positive atmosphere and all of your new virtual friends, but think of something, post it, and then share it into our team page so we can all get ideas, and also go to your page and like it and support you guys too.
I love that.
Thumbs up if you're going to do it. Woohoo! Awesome. Okay, if there's no other questions, thank you, Chelsea, so much for talking to our team tonight, and thank you everyone else for making the time to hop on and prioritizing the call. So have an awesome night, you guys. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.